Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arrowfire. Welcome back to another episode of Look Out and Shout. Carrying on with reviews of figures that came out 5 or 6 years ago, today we are doing the second of the TFC Terrorcons, TFC Toys S-02 Mammon, their version of a G1, very stylized Blot. Now, I didn't know what Mammon meant and I gave it a quick Google, and apparently it's to do with accepting wealth of evil origins of some description, I think. I don't know, weird choice. But much like the previous review of Cinetwin, the box has that nice pixelated artwork with the product shots of Blot and whatever the heck he turns into for his alt mode. Stats on the back, and the box is nice enough. Additionally, with a nice black polystyrene, coming with the instructions to go from robot mode to alt mode and combined mode as well. For the purpose of these videos, we're not going to put them in a combined mode. You'll see that more in the combined video. Collector's card and Bigfoot accessory. Okay, let's get on with the review, shall we? And there he is in his robot mode. It might not look it, but this is definitely the better of the two modes. It is a better transformation. It is a better form than Cinetwin. There are improvements here. It's by no means perfect, but the robot mode actually stands up pretty well, save big back pieces. Again, as I found with Cinetwin, the back of TFC Toys does seem to be forgotten about. But he stands pretty good. The arms are fairly slender for my liking, but tolerances, again, much like with Cinetwin, with their Astaroth, the ratchets around the hips are pretty good. The ratchets around the shoulders aren't too bad. There's some tabbing in issues. Stuff does come untabbed a little bit, but it's definitely a better robot mode than it will be an alt mode when we get to that part of the video. Let's get in for a closer look. So obviously worth pointing out, severe light piping on the go with this and all other releases. The head sculpt is pretty good. Try and get it in focus. Yeah, it's fine enough. These shoulder pads, some of the product shots tell you to have it all the way down. You can fan it out. It's up to you. Probably looks better with it out. He's holding this rather large gun. It is very unsightly, but as we now know, of course, that the guns are all going to combine to make a super gun. But yeah, it is quite large. He does have a very kind of stocky vibe with the chest pieces and the yellow translucent on there. That's pretty cool. The bit of untabbing I was talking about was his beast mode or alt mode head. It doesn't take much for it to come away from this tab that's inside just under his chin. I don't know if I can show you. There's a peg in the middle there, and you're forever trying to clip it down and lock it in. So that is marginally annoying. Yeah, the back of the figure doesn't look great. There's a lot of kibble here, but the legs do lock in fairly well. I think I've got it right by memory. There is this latch that goes over the top of the thighs, calves, I suppose, and it actually tabs in and secures the figure quite well, which is more than I can say for the alt mode. Show you a bit of articulation whilst we're here. Head rotation all the way around. Can look up, but then it's, you know, pulling that out because it's all on the same connector. Can look up a bit. It's untabbing again. Yeah, that's not really a pass. These arms are different to the alt mode arms, so not as strong on the ratchets, I should say, out on friction. Ratchets all the way around, which is quite good. Surprised they're ratchets for the small joints. Friction out to the side, as you saw. Bicep rotation, yes, very stiff though, and it's starting to untab other things. Over 90-degree bend there, which is pretty good. I'm not wild on the hands. They're very stiff to get the fingers out. They're very small as well. And there is a wrist rotation, but very, very dainty. And how this transforms up and cascades away at the elbow is not my favourite. It's an odd choice for transformation. There's a bit of kibble here, but there is a waist rotation, which is pretty good. No ab crunch. Getting the hip skirts out of the way or lift them up altogether. Ratchets out to over 90-degree side kick, that's pretty good. Softer ratchets forward, will go back and start to bump into himself. 90-degree bend or just under, with ratchets as well, and an ankle articulation, toe tilt down as well. So there is stuff here, a bit like Cinetwin, same things again. It's improved on Cinetwin, but it's not perfect, and there's still a way to go. It's the best he's, as he wants to fall over. It's the best he's looked as an individual robot mode possibly ever, but he's not without a few more fundamental problems. Okay, on to some comparisons. Here he is alongside the previous review, which was TFC Toys S-02, their version of Cinetwin. Again, you're getting similarities and it's cool to have them together, but you can see, I think, the progress of changes that is made. We've got more metallic-y looking sections now, highlights here and there. Whilst you've got translucent bits on the legs, it's very matte by comparison, where this guy has got more of a metallic edge. Yeah, similar, cool, similar features, but upgrades being made along the way, even if they both have stability issues. Alongside Studio Series 86 Galvatron with the incorrect shoulders, the first one that came out, probably a bit more in keeping. I don't know if he would be as tall as Galvatron, but I'm not going to put Fans Toys Sovereign alongside him. There's just no point. But also Legacy Needle Nose. That's more in keeping, that's what I'd expect, and again, just shows you why I think these guys are chug scaled, more so than Masterpiece. Oh, and it's worth for his other accessories, he comes with a massive foot for Abominus. The front of the toe can come off and act as a shield. It doesn't say so in the instruction, but it's another feature you can use. Okay, let's get this guy transformed up, shall we? And here he is in his alt mode, I guess. I don't actually know what this mode is, and I don't think many people on the internet know what it is either. The best description I can find is monster. And it kind of is. It's an ogre. It's I don't know. It's something. And it doesn't look great. Transformation's fine enough. I mean, stuff goes in the right places. I'm trying to get through this part of the review very quickly because he famously does not stand up. These legs are pretty poor. And okay, whilst this is probably the best he's looked in alt mode, I think the original toy alt mode does look rubbish, and it's a fair upgrade. It has a, I don't know, more jagged sense and looks a bit more menacing. It's very, I don't know what I'm looking at. At least I know what Cutthroat is. At least I know what Cinetwin looks like. At least I know what they're trying to go for. I don't know what this is. Is it supposed to tear you apart with big arms? The claws look nice enough, but yeah, there's a lot of problems with this alt mode. It is probably the weakest of the set to date. I'm happy to admit that now. And the good points from the robot mode kind of disappear when it gets up into this mode. Let's get in for a closer look. So again, the head is pretty cool. I do like it. That's the rotation up that you get, and it's very jagged, very Godzilla-like. The light piping again on the horn is good. He's got like spinning blades for his mouth, top and bottom, which is a very nice menacing effect. The hands, the claws, they're pretty cool. I like those as well. But these legs, like, you can move them out to the side. You're supposed to cascade them in, but there's nothing to kind of knock them back out again. And they're very easy to manipulate when you consider he's very torso heavy on the weight with chest and robot legs. So these two little dinky legs and fairly loose ball joints are to keep it all up. It's not impressive, and there's not an awful lot you can do. So I'll show you some articulation. There's a head up. Heads down is pretty good to look down on some prey. A bit of rotation left and right as well. Does look a little bit unsightly, creating gaps at the back of the neck, but that's that. Ratchets round, that's pretty cool. It's friction on the side and just about gets to 90 degrees. Squeaky as well. Bicep rotation. Very limited elbow bend with the massive claws, and the claws open up nicely. Probably the arms are the best thing about the feature in this mode. No waist rotation. There is a knee bend. No, there's not really a knee bend at all. I mean, it's there, but that's all you get, kind of a straightened out to the bent version, and a toe tilt. But I'm forever trying to put him right, otherwise he'll end up toppling forward under his own weight. I don't think he's a great character to have. I don't think he's an interesting one. He's very much got the forgotten name. He's called Blot. He's not anything memorable, and sadly that comes across in this figure as well. And for weapon storage, well, there's his very big gun, and I don't think there is a particular place to store it other than kind of resting it on his back. And why they didn't think to put a section where the handle can plug into, I'll never know. There's a gap there. It could work. It doesn't even go into these parts here. He can't even hold it on his arm. There's no 5mm port, 3mm port, any port. He can't hold it in his hand either, and it just more or less sits in a crevice, or you can do it. Oh man, this thing is frustrating. It's a shame because on one hand, I think it's the best he's looked. I think he looks quite menacing, but the bar was pretty low on that, and he looked a bit... I'm getting to a Bobby Skullface point with this. I'm just very frustrated with it, just to try and keep it into position. I mean, there's a sense of not worth the hassle about it. Okay, on to some comparisons. Bit of foreboding for the next review, alongside Leviathan, TFC Toys version of Ripper Snapper. Again, as I say, these two did not have very good original toys. They were very unimaginative. And I think TFC have done well in kind of upgrading them and making them look a bit more menacing. Certainly Ripper Snapper gets that treatment, less so with Blot. When you put these together like anything, when you get a combined team together, they do look cool together. They complement each other and hide each other's flaws. But let me tell you, this is way better than that. Keeping it beastly, here he is alongside Robot Toys Lord Ventenagon, their version of a Beast Wars Scorponok. Interestingly, same colour palette. Who knew? No real comparison to draw, but they're more or less the same size, and they will not share the same continuity. But yeah, I thought keep it beastly, and yeah, they are surprisingly similar colours. Here we have an oversized Chug Sharkticon. I just instantly see a different style. Obviously, this is going very stylized, this isn't, but that Sharkticon just comes across so much better, and you can instantly tell what it's trying to go for. And I would show you a typical Masterpiece Carbot, but there's kind of no point as these guys are not Masterpiece scale, so here he is alongside Chug Scale Red Alert from the Armada universe. Obviously dwarfs him, but again, these guys are not really Masterpiece, they are much more in the Chug scale. So what is my view on this Blot on my copybook? It's better, but my God, is there fundamental issues with it. It's better in as much as it's better than Sinatwin. There's improvements to be made, and it's the best he's looked in robot mode probably ever. I like his beefy bulkiness, but again, there are fundamental issues here with this set. The over-reliance on light piping, the entire back of this head, I mean, that's going to be a theme throughout this set, and we're even going to see it in combined form as well. The gun is oversized for him. The transformation is fine enough, but I suppose it has to be because I don't know what he turns into. But there's things like really, really small hands, very, very dainty, odd use of transformation, very weird tabbing in of legs, and the legs are quite rubbish for beast mode, for alt mode anyway. Articulation's not too bad, and again, much like with Sinatwin with Astaroth, I like the use of the ratchets and that harder articulation. But the alt mode is such a letdown. Tabbing in issues, doesn't come across anywhere near stable, and it just looks odd. I think this is a miss of a figure, just generally speaking, of the Terrorcons set. And overall, I'm just fairly unimpressed with it. It is the bulkiness of the robot mode and the use of some of those accents of silver and chromeness and even the translucent around the back of it that give it a little bit more life and a place on the collection. As I say, when you put other members alongside it, that's when it will start to perk up and look the business. Otherwise, it just comes across a bit of a forgettable figure, certainly forgettable alt mode, and very much forgettable for the character in this set. Not much else to say. It doesn't come with an alternative faceplate, it doesn't come with another gun, there are stability issues, but even if I do like bits about it, they are just bits here and there. Broadly speaking, it is fairly much a ho-hum figure. Based on that, I give this guy 2 Rodimus Star Badges. It is this robot mode that's giving it any kind of positive score, and if it was solely down to the alt mode, I would not be impressed or even inclined to give it anything higher. There we go, that is my review of TFC Toys S-02 Mammon, their version of a G1 Blot. I'll put some photos up at the end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button because I will see you on the next one.